So happening today, President Trump will host Ukrainian President Zelenskyy as he considers whether to give the country Tomahawk missiles ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We need Tomahawks for the United States of America, too. We have a lot of them, but we need them. I mean, we can't deplete for our country. So, you know, they're very vital. They're very powerful.
Here to discuss it is retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute of Study of War, which is a must-read every day, General Jack Keane. General, your thoughts about the Vladimir Putin's timing on the call and Zelenskyy's meeting today?
Well, certainly I think probably the president heard something in that call. What we don't know is he's had so much conversation with Putin. Is there something different in terms of his sincerity this time about really wanting to make some kind of compromise? Obviously, it's worth the president's time in his mind that he expects something like that to happen. The evidence we have to date, and certainly the president is very much aware of it, that Putin has made continuous promises and hasn't kept them. And indeed, since all of these talks have been going on the phone and certainly in person as well, what has Putin done? He's escalated the war against civilians, and he expanded military incursion into NATO countries. That's the reality of what we're dealing with, and no evidence whatsoever of compromise. I think it's helpful that Rubio and Lavrov are going to meet first next week, and certainly if Lavrov isn't putting something real on the table there, I don't think we should get the president involved in another meeting that leads to empty promises. But look, the president knows how to leverage an adversary. He's just demonstrated that clearly in the Middle East. The facts speak for themselves. So he understands that. And also the other thing we should know is, look, the Russian army wasn't good when the war began. It's not good now, and it's never going to be good. They are extraordinarily vulnerable. They've just had an offensive. They've been trying to succeed in taking the southern part of Ukraine for over a year, and they have failed at doing it. They actually wanted, if you remember, Zelenskyy to give up the territory they cannot take, and we at the Institute for the Study of War don't think they can ever take it. So that's what Putin is facing, and now, you know, with the possibility of Tomahawks reaching the sanctuary that protect the bombers that are delivering cruise missiles on the civilian population, and also touching the manufacturing capability of where the Shahed drones are being manufactured, that sanctuary is protected because Ukraine doesn't have the long-range weapons to reach it. That's what the Tomahawks would do, and that obviously would put more military pressure on Putin in terms of the success of his campaign. So the president's got plenty of leverage here for sure.
He feels even more than ever that Putin wants to do a deal. So they're going to end up in Hungary, and possibly Zelenskyy could be there too, maybe not in the same room. But the president's willing to go to great lengths in order to stop the killing. And I think the leverage of the Senate sanctions, along with the possible delivery of the Tomahawks, which can do everything you just said, is very much in Vladimir Putin's mind. So we'll have to see how that goes today. But, General, I have to go to Hamas and your sense on what they're doing now, trying to kill off their enemies, being slow walking a lot of the bodies. I found out yesterday that the Israelis told them where 10 bodies are located. You don't need special equipment. And now they got 48 hours to deliver them, and they're already overdue. But let's bring back the president's quote, and here's what he said. If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And it won't be us, it'll be the IDF and there's other Arab countries. Your thoughts about the president and the way Hamas has acted since the deal was signed?
Well, in the agreement, there is an acknowledgement that it would take some time to find these bodies. Hamas wasn't in control of all of the live hostages. The two other terrorist groups operating inside of Gaza, and they're not in charge of all of the deceased bodies either. But the Israelis have given them the intelligence they have received from Hamas fighters and also Palestinians who they detained and know where those bodies are. So that is assisting them. There are some issues with rubble. The Turks are probably going to provide a very large group that they use after earthquakes take place to help find bodies. So there are some logistical issues here. But I think the Israelis are right that there is some delay tactics going on here. Why is that? Well, because Hamas stays in control as long as this is going on. And they are telegraphed that they, one, are not going to disarm. What does that mean? That means that they're not going to give up control. They want those weapons to be able to maintain control over the population itself. So it looks like we're on a collision course here. Not for certain, but it seems to be heading towards that we're likely going to have to use force to disarm Hamas if they stay in the mindset they're currently in.
Keep your phone on, General. There's so many impactful things going on around the world, and we're going to always need your insight. General Jack Keane, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.